right, welcome back. So at this video, I try to show you how to do the data modeling and make connections between the different sheets we got here. We already load the data, if you remember, from uh, the part here says from other sources, just loading the database, and I choose either one based on my data type. So we use that first step to showing like the how to load the Excel files. So I loaded there, and those sheets are present in my PowerPivot core section. So to make the connections between the different sheets and the tables, we have to use the diagram view. I just click here on the diagram view. You can see. And then as soon as we click on the diagram view, we will see all the sheets and the data tables in the smart interactive boxes here, which contains all the columns names you can see for each sheet, right? So we have to make a connections because we know there is some similarities between the columns in each tables, right? So let me reorder the boxes, just making easier to see. So here is the cities. This place is good. Imaginary dealers. We can move the cars here, and we can move the orders here, right? You just drag and drop uh, the boxes with the mouse left click. It's really easy. You can try by your own. So let's see which similarities we have here. The first one on the cities table, we got ID. And on the imaginary dealerships list, we also got the ID. So we can select this ID and drag it and drop it here and just make a connection. Is that fast and easy, right? So basically, we connected two tables with a similar column, which is the ID between both, right? So we got that connection between them. So what else? We got like the car ID here and the car ID here also, right? We can do the same thing. Just make a connection. Boom, we got the connection. But what else we can do? Between the orders, we got the customer ID and the ID here, which is the represent the customer ID also. We can choose this one and connect from here to here, right? All tables are connected to each other right now. Okay, so let's go back to the data view again. Right now, we don't see any changes here. We just make the connections and we did like the data modeling here. But I am going to do something to see how we made the connections. We jump in the order sheets, right? And then here, for example, we want to see like the revenue for each order we have here, right? So let me type here revenue. And then we can add another column, just name cost. And lastly, we can make another column, just name profit. All right, so we made the three columns. Okay, so we want to, for example, for the revenue column here in the orders we just made recently, just calculate how much is the revenue for each order ID, right? So we have like the different values for the item sold unit, and we have like the each revenue for each car ID, but it just mentioned in the cars table, not in the orders, right? So dealer list price, the value of the car we sold to the dealerships, right? So we want to see how to calculate their revenue for each order based on the car value, right? So simply just select this box and front of the equal sign here. So we say related. When you use this function from the PowerPivot, When you select this, it just lists all the columns available to make this calculation, right? So we know that information we are looking for is just coming from the cars table, which is the dealer list price, the value of the car we're selling to the dealerships, right? We choose this one, close the parentheses, and we put the abstract sign here for multiply with the item unit sold, right? This box here, and press enter. Boom. It just calculate everything nicely, right? And one more thing we can do, you can select this column here and just make it the currency type, right? So this is the value of the revenue of the each order, right? So we can do the same thing for the cost, but this time again say related, but we have to get the factor by price, the value of the car we pay to the factory. So we choose this one, close the parentheses, asterisk sign, again, units, sold unit, right? There we go. Again, currency. So this is the cost. And the last one, we want to see how much profit the headquarter just gained for this specific transaction, right? It's very easy. We select the revenue minus the cost. There we go. We got the profit. So we can see the profit for each order. That easy, that simple. That was really easy, right? Okay, so we can see all of them, just got the numbers. Perfect. So any columns you want to add, you can just add here and just make a calculation based on the connection you made between the tables. We are currently working on the orders sheet, but the information here is just coming from the car sheet, which we made the connection in the diagram view between the orders and the cars, right? We just connected those tables based on the car ID, but we are using the dealer list price and the factory buy price from this specific table in here, this orders sheet, right? Perfect. So you can add any calculations you want. Just simply like me, just put the name for the column and just make your calculations. All right. So at the next step, I'm going to show you how to make the measures in like the calculation, like making the calculation in the whole globe environment, but you're using in different sheets, right? Okay, so there is two ways to do that. The first way I'm going to show you, just we need to go back to the main screen in the Excel file and just coming to the Power Pivot tab. If you are on the home, you have to go all the way down at the end to the Power Pivot. And then here we got the measures option, right? When you click on the measures and then you select the new measure, you're coming to this place. Here, you have to choose which sheet you want to add that measure. For example, I'm going to add something to the orders sheet because we are working on the orders. And you have to specify like the measure name. Measure one is not that clear to understand what's going on in that specific measure we are going to create. So for example, I want to see how many uh, unique dealerships we have in our database, right? So we can say total number of customers, right? So this is my name. So it's very clear. We understand what we are going to calculate. We can put the description if you want. So I can ignore that because the name is clear enough to understand what's going on. And we got the formula box here, like Excel, right? So to find the total number of the customers, we have the function here, distinct count, right? This option here. So we choose this one, and as soon as we just choose the function we are going to use in the formula side, it lists all the columns we have in the Power Pivot, right? So the total number of the customers can calculate based on the customer's ID, for example, because it's a unique number for each dealership, right? So if we are looking for the customer ID, like this one, right? Okay, we just choose this and close the parentheses. And this data and the value for that is a number. So we just choose the number, and we don't have a decimal number, so we make it 0, and there is no separator for that. And then click on OK. So nothing happened here. So, but we did some, we just created some measures where we can find that measure. So we need to go back to the PowerPivot core part, and under the orders sheet right here, we can see we got something new here. What is that? Let's extend the column here. Oh, it's the total number of the customers. That's a measure we made it over there. That's correct. So we have like 682 different customers. But there is something wrong because I remember I had more customers I added to the cities, which the dealerships coming from there, right? So let's go back to the measures and see what's wrong with that. Going to the measure, we have the manage measures, right? We just use it the new measure lastly, but we have a manage measures. We click on the manage measures. So this is the measure we created. We click on the edit, and we jumping inside the formula. So we use like the customer ID, but I guess we use from the imaginary dealership datasheet. So which is not correct, right? That's why it didn't give the whole list of the dealerships. We are going to use the ID from the city instead of the imaginary dealerships. We use like the city ID, right? We use this one and click on the OK and close. And you can see the total number of the customers is 970 instead of the 678. So in the previous table, we didn't get the whole dealership list basically, and we're using the customers from the cities instead of the imaginary dealerships. Okay, so we got the total number of the customers. What else we can do to make the measures? So if we don't want to go back to the main screen of the Excel and then make the measurements, we can do right away here. It's very easy. Just choose the empty box here and go on the formula section and put the equal sign. Okay, so, and then what we want to calculate here. For example, we want to see the total profit we made it from all the dealerships and all the orders right here. So the thing is we can use like the sum function here. And sum of the what? Sum of the profits, right? Where? In the orders sheet. So we are looking for the orders sheet right here and the profit. That's it. We choose this one, close the parentheses, and press enter. As soon as we click on the enter, it creates a measure and it names by default measure 1 because we don't have other measures named measure 1. It just by default gives the number measure 1. If I create another one after this, and if I don't rename that, it will give like the measure 2, right? So we are going to change the name of the measure because it's not clear. It says the total profit, right? Click. So again, it's not like the currency friendly shape, so we can just choose from here like the English dollars, United States. That's it. It just gives the total profit to us. And let's add another measure. So say like the average profit per customers, right? So we can do one thing, total. So we have like the two measures here, right? As soon as I type like the total if I type total, it just listed the two measures I created with the starting name like the total, word total, right? So we have like the total profit. We choose this one and divided by, again, type total, number of the customers, right? And press enter. There we go. And again, we can say the average profit per customer, right? This is the clear description name, like descriptive. And then we choose like the currency here, English. There we go. This is the profit, average profit we made per customer. That's easy and simple. So you learn how to make the measures in your Power Pivot. I will see you in the next video and show you how to add and create the KPI or data visualization and everything. See you on the next video. Thank you.